What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
So many. Here we go. 1, when you meet them and they're constantly love bombing you, it's not going to end well. One big one for me is that if they don't like animals, and if you have animals, your animals do not like them, run. They're constantly calling their exes crazy or bitches. Refer to women as crazy, females, butterfaces, or bitches. They have way more exes than you, and it's like, why couldn't you have kept a relationship? Or you're their longest relationship ever. They have lived with their parents more than once. They have your phone number, but they text you instead of calling you. When they're telling it like it is, they only tell what you did to them. They never tell whoever they're bitching to what they said or did to you. And they play the victim. So good. Man thinks he knows everything, and he's always constantly bragging about his abilities in and out of the bedroom. Not. If a man drinks every day, run. If a man thinks that negging is okay, run. Oh my God. If he's a mama's boy, run, because he has an important woman in his life, and it ain't you. When you're having a discussion and they tell you you need to educate yourself, when they gaslight you or try to manipulate you into doing what they want you to do, run. If he says he's a nice guy, he's not a nice guy. He's a fucking asshole. If a man doesn't want to be mothered, but he's perfectly fine with fathering you, run. If a man says he doesn't get jealous, if he says anything sexist or racist and thinks it's funny, if a man doesn't want you to look at their phone. Personal experience, if a man's number one language is English, but he knows another language, and when he's around his people, he decides to speak in another language, red flag. If a man starts an argument with you and then says, "Why are you acting like this?" Red flag. This one's kind of funny, but if a man masturbates a lot, run. If a man brings up your weight all the time and he's fucking fat too, run. If he never has money and he's constantly pulling out loans, ugh. If he compares you to his friends' women, and if you're having a bad day and he tells you to get over it. All right, part 2, here we go. So, if a man tells you that he loves you and you've only known him for like 3 days, if he can imagine having children with you and all of this other stuff, and you've only known him a short amount of time, and he's not being like, "Hey, I love you as a person," he's like, "I really love you and I can't see myself without you," yeah, red flag. He's crazy. If he shows up at your job and he didn't call first and you only mentioned where you worked once, red flag. Or if he says like, "Oh, you look nice today. How do you know what I'm wearing?" If a man tells you that no one will ever love you like he does, run. Or if he says, "If I can't have you, nobody will or can," yeah, red flag. If he wants to know every single thing about you, run. And when I say every single thing, I mean every single thing. He's asking you all these questions and he's not like willing to like go through the journey and like find out these things on his own, red flag. This is a big one. If he refers to himself in the third person, run, red flag. If a man is constantly trying to tell you what is good for you and you know yourself, red flag. If he never gives you a straight answer, red flag. If he never gives you a compliment and then gets mad when someone else gives you a compliment, red flag. If he's got more than one baby mama, red flag. If a man cannot hold a job for more than like a few weeks, red flag. And I'm just going to leave this last one. If a man shows no ambition, if he doesn't ask you about what your goals are, what your plans are, if he has no plans, no goals for himself, that's a red flag, because that means that he doesn't want nothing for you. He don't want nothing for himself, and he's not going to be any type of help to you at all. He's going to be a mooch. He's going to be a grifter.